Let me put myself as busy. There we go.
All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Tabimu. We have somebody with us. It's Blackjack. I can
Yeah.
never. What's your channel actually? So for the people that are watching.
Yeah. If you want to check out my channel, I do a bunch of basketball and football vids over there. It's Blackjack's Media. It's Blackjack's Media, and you can go check me out there.
Z. You gotta remember the Z.
The Z, the S, not a Z.
I'm pretty sure we're live. Let's just make sure and double check if anybody can give me a test here. You're gonna be seeing new quality. I'm about to open something up and show you guys. I want to make sure we're fully up and running before I go into the high quality awesomeness that is this stream here. Let me tweet out and let people know we're live. This is kind of an impromptu thing. We're gonna talk WrestleMania.
Cool.
And I have a casual fan with me. I mean, he classifies himself as a casual fan. How long did you watch wrestling before you kind of went away to make you a casual fan? Like, how long has it been since you've watched, I don't know if you ever watch rigorously, I guess.
Okay.
Like, explain being a casual fan, I guess.
Yeah, I can say that I watched wrestling religiously when I was a kid. Like, I remember the old days of DX. I remember Triple H before he was Triple H. Like, he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I remember that. I remember, China, Team Extreme with Lita, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys. I remember like all of DX, Road Dogg, X-Pac, all those guys. I go that far back in terms of like wrestling knowledge and, how religiously I watched it. Like I even remember like Scotty Too Hotty and, Too Cool and all that. Like that's like, those were the gimmick wrestlers back in my day. But I know the big names. Like I know and I can say that my knowledge goes all the way to, I want to say somewhere around 2005 or 2007 is where I dropped out. Like the big names that I remember since I've left are like Randy Orton is a big one. It was like right after Evolution broke up. Like I remember Randy Orton. I remember what were some other big names then? Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah.
This was after the time of Brock Lesnar. This was right around the time I believe it's around the time that Brock Lesnar decided he wanted an NFL career.
Yeah, I think there was like Umaga, Chris Benoit was still around.
Umaga, oh man.
MVP, Schnitzky was still around at the time.
Yeah.
Elijah Burke.
Schnitzky was crazy.
Oh my god, I am not a fan because I mean everybody pretty much, knows. I'm not a big fan of Schnitzky, especially on my live streams. I was never a fan of Schnitzky.
Neither was I, but I mean I liked the gimmick a little bit, and then it just got too old for me.
I'm trying to remember who else. I'm using the video game. Marcus Corvan, Elijah Burke, some guys in there.
I remember when Rey Mysterio was like the biggest thing on the face of the planet, and everybody was doing like this. Everybody sweated the 619, like it was crazy. I like that's okay. So I guess casual wrestler now, but back then, like I knew my stuff. Like I knew the big matches, I knew the big names. I even knew some of the smaller guys.
All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna break down Reality of Wrestling because that is the sponsor and it's a huge event coming up. March 23rd is the Pin for the Win tournament. It's a huge tournament raising money for charity, and this year it's being brought to you in part by Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Now this is an awesome federation that they have down in Houston, Clear Lake, Texas. We have a promo we're gonna run for it here, and let me know what you guys think. Go subscribe if you want to youtube.com/The Booker T ROW. It really is a great promotion. And go tell them that Tubby sent you. So we're going to run that right now. Here we go.
The stage is set. Saturday, March 9th. Come see the ROW Heavyweight Champion Rob Barnes, Ruthless Ryan Davidson, Abel Andrew Jackson, and more. Also, come see ROW CEO and WWE Superstar Booker T. This will be a live taping for the hit show Reality of Wrestling. That's Saturday, March 9th, Clear Lake Sports and Recreation Complex, 16511 Diana Lane, Houston, Texas. Doors opening at 6:30 with bell time at 7:30. Come see professional wrestling at its best. Reality of Wrestling. For more information, go to realityofwrestling.com.
Hey, Tubby. On YouTube, they're saying your mic is still muted.
I forgot to hit the unmute button. Okay. All right. So I completely missed that. All right, here we go. Everything that has led up to WrestleMania. Is the Rock, as a casual fan, what's bringing you back into wrestling?
I mean, what's brought me back into wrestling, I think I can kind of blame you a little bit for it. I can blame guys like Hurricane and Not a Fan a little bit for it. It's kind of been really cool to, see three guys who still follow it a little bit, and you guys have kind of gotten me back into it. But one of the big things is that, you have names that are familiar to to me. It's really cool to see that, Rock is going to be at WrestleMania. I mean, that's a huge draw. To me, that's like, oh, wow, this is like somebody that I grew up watching. I love watching the Rock Bottom, the People's Elbow, seeing the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. Like that's my childhood. Of course, that's gonna be a huge draw for anybody. Plus he's still very prevalent in today's media. I mean, he's all over TNT, still doing shows for them. He's been in movies. He's a big name that everybody knows. So that's kind of the draw for me in terms of, coming back. And John Cena is a big name too. I know who John Cena is. Even if you don't know wrestling, you know who John Cena is.
It's because he's the face of the company. And
correct.
So what a lot of people are mad about, though, is, did you watch last year? Were you any part of wrestling last year when The Rock came back and faced John Cena?
I actually know. I actually missed that. So I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I know this already happened before, but I just don't know the backstory.
Yeah, so everybody was mad because, okay, so at WrestleMania 27, as I'll skip the gameplay here and go into the match, it was, they were announcing a guest host for WrestleMania, the first time ever, and the guest host was The Rock. And The Rock had some build-up with John Cena, and it was Miz versus John Cena at the pay-per-view for the title.
Okay.
And Rock comes out, and Rock hit a rock bottom.
Okay.
I don't know, I can't remember if it was both of them or... Anyway, Miz was able to retain the title that night. And they announced a year ahead of time, they're like, I don't want to face you now. How about a year from now, at WrestleMania 28, we'll face off in Miami, Florida. And they went with it. And all year they built up, and there was speculation saying, well, John Cena's going to get the title. He's going to hold it all the way to Mania. It'll be Cena versus Rock for the title. It's once in a lifetime. That's what they billed it as. It was once in a lifetime.
Right. Now,
does it make sense to think in the mindset? And I know some people just don't want to see Rock Cena, which is perfectly fine. Does once in a lifetime, as a casual fan, if you hear once in a lifetime match, Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania, and then the next year it happens again, is that a turnoff to you, or do you realize that once in a lifetime may not have meant just actually facing off? There's different circumstances. Like now, Rock's got the title.
See, that's exactly it. Is that the second that I hear the words once in a lifetime, I don't believe it. Like I immediately think this is probably going to happen again, especially if it draws big. If you can make, I mean, and I hate to say it from like a money standpoint or like a viewer standpoint, but if you can bring in people with a matchup like that, is it really once in a lifetime thing? I mean, wrestlers come back all the time. There's storylines in which you have like I quit matches or retirement matches, a year or two later, and sometimes it takes even shorter than that. Wrestlers always come back.
Yeah.
So, I don't ever believe, a once in a lifetime. No, I don't believe that. It's just like, whenever Undertaker's at WrestleMania, I mean, I always know it's going to be a great match, but I know Undertaker's going to win. He has to keep that undisputed streak going. Has to.
Okay, so as a fan, like, and this is what people are saying. When I went off on it, I said, from a business aspect, what are you going to do? Are you going to put out the pay-per-view that gets 1 million buys, or the pay-per-view that gets 650,000 buys? Now, honestly, the usual response is, well, Tubby, I'm not a business, I'm a fan. And that makes perfect sense. I know people may not necessarily want to see Rock versus Cena, and for the main reason being that they know John Cena is going to win. He's going to take the title from Rock, and Rock's going to put him over.
Correct.
It is pretty much the whole build-up. But honestly, how can you not think of like as a business? Like, look at how bad the ratings were this last year. And obviously, you said you haven't been watching. The ratings have been down. And with these people coming back, I was one of the guys that I didn't like when legends come back. I wanted the the primetime talent to get featured, the new talent that's coming up.
Right.
But they are being featured. CM Punk dropped the title, and it's kind of like a trade-off right now. Yeah, Rock is champion. I guess take it away from a real wrestler like CM Punk. But you have the Shield getting featured. You have Big E Langston getting featured. You have guys coming up from NXT. So I think The Rock kind of being this promotional tool because he's got movies and he's a movie star is a good thing for the WWE because it's bringing in more viewers. In your opinion, if you were booking it, would you book it for what's going to bring in the most, or would you listen to people on the internet, I guess? Because that's what people always think.
See, I'm really torn on this because, everything that you said is pretty valid. But, I mean, the fact that The Rock is coming back has kind of brought attention to a lot of guys that you've mentioned, especially the Shield. Like, I know a little bit about what the Shield is because of The Rock and also because of you guys too, because I keep seeing videos in which you post things in which it's like Cena, Rock, and I'm like, oh, those are the names. Who's this Shield thing? And then I see it again. I'm like, who is the Shield? Like, who is this? And it kind of makes me want to find out who these guys are. And sometimes that's what you need. You do need a bigger voice, a bigger, like somebody who's bigger to come in and kind of introduce you to the rest of the pieces. Now, from the internet or the fan standpoint, I totally get that too. I mean, I guess the best way that I can relate this, and this is something that's completely out of their control. I mean, in wrestling, you can control this, but I look at college football this year. You got Alabama and Notre Dame. All right, we see Alabama every year. We want to see you want to see somebody else in that championship. And you had Notre Dame, who has a lot of a lot of tradition behind them, and unfortunately, the game was a stinker. In the WWE, you can control that in the WWE, like
because it's scripted and you're planning the spots exactly.
Correct. So you're never going to have like Cena versus Rock just suck. It's got to be a good match. It's going to have a lot.
Well, actually, don't say that because Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar sucked at WrestleMania because they were both leaving.
That's true. Yes.
So. In honest opinion, what do you tell these people that, obviously the IWC was big and it seems like the WWE is going away because they know their spoiler websites. And it seems like they're almost looking at the spoiler websites and being like, fuck them, we're going to do something completely different just because they keep predicting stuff. Is it a slap in the face to the fans that don't want Rock Cena, or is it, kind of a gift to those people that want to see it, the casual fans that do want to see Cena versus Rock? I mean, who do you try to please more? Do you please the guys that talk about it constantly all year, or the casual fan once or twice a year? And I think that's what is making these people so mad.
I understand that, and that's where it gets difficult because it's, I mean, from a single person aspect, yeah, you will always want to please, like you want to try to please everybody, but unfortunately, it's impossible to do. You can't please anybody because if you do have the matchup that all the fans want, then you're just isolating it to the fans. And I understand that they're a loyal fan base. But then you don't grow your brand, and I can understand why they're doing this. I mean, I don't know how pleased the fans with Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger.
Honestly, this is where I was a little shocked about. Was a lot of people were saying, well, Jack Swagger, oh, he's just came back out of nowhere and now he's got a championship push, but at the same time, it's not the same Jack Swagger that we've been seeing or we saw for 2 years. That young kid that got pushed for the World Heavyweight title years ago was just a young, arrogant, come out there and wrestle kind of guy about the All-American American. He did push-ups. He strolled around the ring. Now he comes back more focused. He's got Dutch Mantel or Zeb Coulter, in his ring. It's good promos. And honestly, I think it's the best thing. And here's why it's the best thing. And I'm glad you brought this up, is because if you would have went the IWC's way, the people that were on the internet that said, this is how I want the card to go down. They said, at Elimination Chamber in the number 1 contender match, I want Chris Jericho to win. Okay? And then I want Dolph Ziggler to cash in on Alberto Del Rio after their match. And we want Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho for the title at WrestleMania.
That wouldn't work.
Here's the problem with that. It would work, but you take away other potential matches.
Correct.
So by not giving Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho doesn't need a number 1 contender match to make WrestleMania. He's going to be on there no matter what.
Correct.
So now him not winning that chamber match gives Jack Swagger that opportunity to go up against Alberto Del Rio. That chamber match also created Mark Henry versus Randy Orton because they've been feuding for a while. Mark Henry, it took 3 guys and an RKO to finish him off to get a pin, and Randy pinned Mark, so they'll go on to that. That creates another match. And now by Chris Jericho not winning and Dolph Ziggler kind of giving him crap, that sets up a third match.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more as a fan that people need to realize that if we all got our way, it would be a pretty boring WWE.
Right. It has to be a little unpredictable at times.
At times. So when you brought up Jack Swagger, it is unpredictable. Let's talk about Jack Swagger. If you guys want to talk about him right now, give me a call, 619-618-0268. Voice your opinions. What do you think about Jack Swagger becoming the number one contender? What is up? Who is this?
This is Rex.
All right, Rex. What do you think about Jack Swagger becoming the number one contender? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's good because just because the fact is that he finally gets another world title push and stuff, and to me that's going to be good. And I think the Alberto Del Rio versus Swagger at Mania is going to be good.
It's going to be good. Now,
What?
is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted from Elimination Chamber when you were watching the pay-per-view? Did you want something else to come from the
I
Chamber?
wanted Jericho to win, but after Swagger win, I think that was the better choice.
I think it was a better choice. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about WrestleMania 29?
Sure. First, it's an honor to talk to you, Mr. Tubby.
I appreciate it. No problem.
Also, I want to talk about Rock Cena too, if that's okay.
No, go for it. Go for it. It's a hot topic these days.
Everyone needs to calm the hell down about Cena winning the Royal Rumble and stuff. And I agree with you; it's good for business. And I was a fan of the match last year because I'm a major Rock fan.
It was a
and
good
John
match
Cena
last year.
fan. I know his stick gets old, but Vince ain't gonna change his style anytime soon if it's gonna make him money.
Do you think that people are more mad the fact that that Cena's in the match, or the fact that Rock's in the title match? Because it
I
seems
think it's more John Cena being in the title match because everyone sees Super Cena over again, and it's just the same stick to them, and they don't want John Cena having the title again for the bajillionth time.
Well, see, that's what I was initially thinking. I was like, okay, well, people don't want Cena because, they know Cena's going to go beat The Rock for the title and it's going to become the year of Cena. But when I asked on Twitter last night, I said, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Rock versus Cena 2 or Punk versus Cena 9 or whatever it is? And people said Punk versus Cena 9 because Punk can wrestle.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, Rock can wrestle too. I mean, it may not be as, fast-paced as the match last year, and you brought it up that said you enjoyed it. I watched it with like 6 of my buddies, and when the pin attempts were going down the rock bottoms, the attitude adjustments, we were kind of on our feet. I mean, it was a very unpredictable match.
Yeah, and that's good in the business because you want unpredictable. You don't want predicament.
So do you think that's why people are hating on the Rock Cena, not necessarily because it's happening again, because it's predictable, because Cena's going to go over?
Yeah, or somehow Rock wins and loses it with Extreme Rules, but there's too much on the line for Cena not to win.
Absolutely. Okay. You have a YouTube channel or Twitter or anything you want to shout out?
My Twitter account is Rexo1991, and my YouTube account is Rex Christopherson.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate talking to you, Rex. You have a great day, man.
Thank you.
All right, peace out.
Bye.
Great caller. Wow, it's way different than the usual kind of callers we get. Black
I don't want to know what they are, man.
Normally younger people. Nothing wrong with that. If you guys could do us a huge favor, hit the like button and make sure to go subscribe to Blackjack. It's Blackjack's Media. Go check out his channel. I know you just launched a couple months ago and you're already over 20. You were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
How your channel went from like 21 to 22.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yesterday, I actually started my huge association for NBA 2K13, and I had I was like just at the Cups of 2000. It was like 1990 or something like that. And then I woke up, and in the morning I was already at like 2100.
That's crazy, man.
Which is insane, yeah.
That shit's crazy. If you guys want good content, this is the guy to go for. Let's see. Let's take more calls. 619-618-0268. What is up? Who is this?
I have one question.
Yeah, go for it.
Why does Alberto Del Rio have Terry Kelly's entrance?
Why does Del Rio have what? Did Del Rio have a different entrance? Did I switch it out? No, apparently I wasn't watching. Maybe I switched out the entrances. I wasn't even thinking about it. I have no idea. Somebody brought that up. I think it was part of the video game. What is up? Who is this?
Hey, it's Jesse.
All right, Jesse, man. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the Undertaker. I just want to talk about the Undertaker right now
All right, go for it.
because I know there's a lot of fans waiting for Undertaker to come back,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't seen him. And my prediction is tonight, CM Punk is going to demand a match at WrestleMania. Triple H is going to come out saying, "You want a match? Here's the Undertaker." Undertaker comes out. There you go.
I think that's a possibility, but you also need to think. Where is that picture? I want to bring that picture up. I'm not one to criticize Undertaker about if he can't go because he's an old man or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the picture I saw of him that people took in Nashville, he
in
was
the hockey game, right?
he was looking really, really rough. As I can see if I can pull this up here. I hope I don't get a copyright strike here, but let's see if I can put this up here in a way you guys can see the Undertaker and just see what he looks like. And he's looking rough, in my opinion. And I don't know if that's the same Undertaker I necessarily want to watch and I think can go. And it's up there now. I don't know if you can see it too well. You guys can just search Undertaker Nashville. He's looking old, and I'm not to say you can't just slap on some hair color and
here's the thing: you just can't have a guy who's been champion for 400 days, then just drop him to a mid card match. That's not right. You got to have CM Punk have a big match at WrestleMania to prove that he's the best in the world.
And I think that's where, the Undertaker thing kind of comes in. And we have to figure out if it's the case. Here's the other thing, though, that people keep talking about. They say, well, instead of Rock Cena 2, why not throw in, CM Punk? Here's the problem with that. Triple threat title matches usually suck. It's plain and simple. Triple threat matches suck. And I know what you're saying. Well, tell me, you got three of the top guys in the company. How is it going to suck? It will. I don't see how you can make it any other way other than, when they go back and forth, it could, take some, pain off somebody. It's the same thing. Well, somebody said, well, what if you have CM Punk and Undertaker and you have a triple threat? That way, like CM Punk, or let's just say Wade Barrett's in there. CM Punk and Wade Barrett could do most of the work together, and Undertaker could just make the spots. And I thought about that, and I just don't see that happening. I don't know what Taker's going to do. And I think if you're right, though, if after tonight, if Undertaker doesn't show up, or if Taker does come out, he'll get the match with Punk. But if Undertaker doesn't show tonight, I think we're not going to see Taker anymore.
Yeah.
Triple H did say it wasn't the last we saw of The Undertaker, but maybe it's the last we saw of him this year. He's 20-0. But what you said about Punk, though, being the champion for 450-plus days, not having an opponent, I completely agree with that. But at the same time, everybody's getting mad saying, well, a real wrestler doesn't have the title like Punk did. But you have to think Punk is a very business-oriented guy. And if you watched his DVD and hear his interviews, he's all about bringing change to the company. And that change, he lost the title to give it to The Rock so Rock can go promote movies. But at the same time, look at all the guys that have came up because of him or are getting a push. You have The Shield, you have Antonio Cesaro, you have Biggie Langston, you have Fandango from Johnny Curtis. You have so many guys coming up and getting a push now that it almost kind of outweighs The Rock having the title for a promotional tour, in my opinion. I think it does. I'll ask you a question here. Who do you think, if Undertaker can't go, who should Punk face?
Well, obviously, it should be they should have a Paul Heyman, who's the real Paul Heyman guy between Brock Lesnar and CM Punk.
Do you think that could happen that fast, though?
Not really.
In a 6-week period.
But if it really has to happen, I think Punk might be interfered with the CM, the Rock versus Cena match. I don't know, but my main prediction was the Undertaker versus CM Punk, though. That was my big thing. That's why I wanted to call you today.
All right. You have YouTube or Twitter you want to shout out?
I have a Facebook page, actually.
Go for it.
It's the Wrestling Nation, facebook.com/PR Wrestling. The Wrestling Nation, Jester Riot.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for the call. It's a pleasure talking to you. Let's see here. So, Blackjack, after hearing everything that's kind of being brought up, is there anything that's piqued your curiosity about WrestleMania so far?
That Undertaker's apparently in it.
Did you not think he was going to be in it?
No, I thought I imagine Undertaker is exactly what I saw in that photo of him, at that what was it, the Nashville hockey game? Like that's what I think. That's what I imagine. Do you really want to see that Taker at WrestleMania? I mean, granted, I haven't seen the guy in probably about 4 to 5 years. Do you really want that Taker? I mean, if people are talking about if The Rock is a real wrestler, do you really want Undertaker in that shape, in the form that he is right now wrestling?
I think by that same aspect, though, it's really unfair of us. And this is one thing that drives me crazy about the IWC.
Okay.
Is when people go crazy and say, well, Grandpa Taker, if Taker can go. None of us know if Taker can go because he's the Undertaker.
Correct.
And it's fun to speculate, but at a time, it's going to come down whether he actually thinks he can put on a good match. And I hope Undertaker would have the common decency to know if he can go or not. If he can go on to put on a good match. Because last year, it was Undertaker versus Triple H for the third time, grant you. We're complaining about Rock Cena too, but Triple H and Undertaker faced each other 3 times.
Because they're quote-unquote real wrestlers and because they're not in movies. I think that's completely it.
Well, exactly. Well, and no, most people just hate the fact that it was branded as once in a lifetime.
Okay, that too.
I think that it's kind of set a stigma. I think last year they called it the end of an era match. And I said, well, what if Undertaker wrestles again? He was part of that era. Why is he wrestling again? Well, tell me, well, no, you see, the end of an era was the end of the Attitude Era guys wrestling. I'm like, what? Like, how can you make one moniker, such as once in a lifetime, mean as much, but then disregard end of an era? I don't know. I have a feeling that people are just going to, complain about it regardless. I'm excited for Rock Cena, too. What is up? Who is this?
Hello, it's Ruben.
All right, Ruben, what's going on? What do you want to talk about WrestleMania season?
I do want to talk about Jack Swagger and Del Rio. So after the Elimination Chamber match ended, everyone on Twitter basically was hating on Jack Swagger. But on my opinion, I really do think this feud could really be good since Alberto Rio is the Mexican and Jack Swagger is the American. And so it kind of looking like a really good feud to me.
I like it, but here's my only problem with it. Is I really like Jack Swagger. I love his new look. I love everything about him except for the theme song. I'm not a fan of the theme song.
Yeah, that was horrible.
The question is, though, would it be better if the roles were switched? Where Del Rio is the heel, and he's the guy that's about Mexico and bragging about it. And then Jack Swagger's the face who is, trying to... Because he's coming off as a real America, but as a real racist America.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to push a heel persona. And essentially, we're backing... I know the WWE is really trying to focus on Latin America and Spanish-speaking countries, and I'm fine with that. I'm happy, and I really like Del Rio as a face. But it almost seems like the feud's kind of backwards to me.
Yeah, I kind of see why they're doing that, since they've done the American versus the different country many times. So I really do think they just wanted to switch it out and try something new.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. It's not the same old thing. It is something that's fresh. And honestly, I'm just glad it's not Mark Henry, because honestly, I love Mark Henry, but that's what I do. Oh my God, that's our favorite catchphrase now. Honestly, that's what I do. And you have to put it out there. Now, who do you think is going to win? You brought it up. You brought up Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. Who do you see winning at WrestleMania?
It's pretty tough. I don't really have an answer since I haven't really seen the build-up.
I like that. I like that. You're being smart. You're not just jumping to those early predictions. You want to wait for the build-up.
Yeah.
Perfectly appreciate it. You have a YouTube or Twitter you want to shout out?
Yes, it's RipHallD 2000.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your call today.
All right.
Let's see here. It brought up some good points. What else do we want to talk about? We have Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler happening. We're gonna get a Divas match. Miz and Antonio Cesaro. I want to build this out. Okay, In your time, what are some of the craziest finishes you remember, Blackjack? In your opinion, like ended a match, whether it was by DQ or some sort of thing happening. What was the craziest thing you remember? Oh, whoops! I dropped Blackjack. My bad. I I apologize, Blackjack. I accidentally removed you there. All right, sorry about that. I hit end all call instead of remove.
It's all good.
All right, so what do you think? From all the matches that you can remember, what was the craziest finish you remember?
The craziest
by like DQ, like just a way to for creative, say you can't have a guy win clean, so he's got to find a way to retain somehow. Can you remember anything that was super crazy way to retain? Like some guy just going out and getting a title, hitting somebody, or to you? Do you remember anything like that?
I'm trying to think. Like one that's immediately coming to mind is like the way. Well, because I just think the way that it was set up, the way that Jericho unified the titles.
Hold on, let me recall you back 1 second. The audio is kind of bad. Let's see here if I can just call him separately and end the call here. What I'm trying to build up to here when I make this call is why is it not letting me leave the conversation? This is weird. It's not letting me. I want to let you guys know though, if you are following along, go to twitter.com/W hashtag. I guess we don't even have a hashtag. Let's see what people are saying on Twitter really quick. I have to let it get enough time where I can call Blackjack back. I feel a lot of talent is being underused. For example, Orton. A lot of talent is getting a lot more exposure with The Rock being back. And I believe that with all my heart. Let's see here. Why is it not? Where is the group call that I have to leave? Something is going on where it's not letting me leave the group call here. Is it back here? There it is. Now I should be able to call Blackjack. Nope. Apparently there's still a group call. Mark all is red. All right. I just want to call him separately, and it's not letting me. That's what happens when you try to do something with Skype. And I don't know why it's doing this. Delete person, remove, block this person, add to contacts, hide conversation. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just try to add him back in here. That's really weird. It's doing something weird. Do you want to go ahead and try to call me after this?
Yeah.
All right, just go ahead and try to call me. What I wanted to bring up was the creative finish that they had last night between Miz and Antonio Cesaro. I thought it was pretty crazy that they had Miz fall on Antonio Cesaro's junk. I just thought that was really stupid. All right, let's see if this works here. Let me try to take a caller. Okay, I can do it. What is up? Who is this? All right, make sure to mute the live stream when you call in. Are you there, Blackjack?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What I wanted to bring up was, I don't know if you watched the pay-per-view last night, but Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz. I didn't see it. They've been actually building a pretty good rivalry so far. Antonio Cesaro is a guy from Switzerland, and he brags that no American can beat him, and he's doing a pretty good job as a heel. I love him.
Okay.
What he did on Raw last week was, the feud, they were going back and forth. They faced at Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. He came out during Miz's match, and Miz hit him or something, and he went crazy and started beating him down. And he went against on the outside, picked him up by his feet, and started swinging him back and forth, smashing him into the barricade like a swing. And Miz is crunching up, going against the wall, getting hit. So he comes out to the pay-per-view, and he's bandaged up. His whole shoulder's bandaged. His whole body's bandaged. Mm-hmm. Pretty much to show as Miz is a face now. He's got adversity. I can't even say it. Well, adversity, but he could still win the match. That was kind of, to lead you to believe that that's what was going to happen.
Okay.
Ric Flair passed down the figure 4 leg lock to the Miz. So during the whole match, Miz was going for Antonio Cesaro's legs, and Cesaro was going for his shoulder. Mm-hmm. Miz had gotten the upper hand, and Miz was about to do a figure 4 leg lock. And Antonio Cesaro started to break out of it, and Miz hit him twice. And right when he was about to go for it, Antonio Cesaro kicked out his leg. And Miz fell on his groin. His kneed him in the groin, more on the side of the leg.
Okay.
And Cesaro started selling it like he hit him in the nuts. And as he's laying on the ground, holding his junk, he's holding his finger like this, and he's pointing down like, "Oh, my junk, my junk."
Please don't tell me he doesn't do it. He doesn't do the figure 4.
No. Because the ref DQ'd him. Cesaro was like, "Dude, DQ him." And he tripped Miz. Miz falls into his junk, and it was a way to play dirty for Cesaro. And Cesaro really sold it like he hit him in the junk. And he was like pointing there. He was laying there, and me and Matt and Junk flipped the fuck out because it was so hilarious. He's like, he's not going to point to his junk like this. He's holding his hand like this, pointing down at his junk, going like, "Oh, my junk, DQ, DQ." The ref DQs him. Miz is pissed. So Antonio Cesaro is standing there. Miz just full-on kicks him in the nuts to get his money's worth. And it's going to lead to a feud WrestleMania. And I just thought that's kind of a creative way to, keep a feud going.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were saying, well, tell me, how do you know Miz and Antonio Cesaro are going to face each other? Come on. Of course.
Yeah, after that, it's got to happen.
But that was a pretty funny DQ. So if you guys want to talk about that, let me know if you have any crazy things you can remember as far as DQs go. Who is this? How's it going, man?
Hey, do you think that Swagger could take on Dolph Ziggler at Mania?
I think it all depends how the build-up goes. I think that if the American versus Mexican thing isn't really working, the WWE does kind of have it in their bag that they could switch that up. I think they could do that, say, if they want to do... Is that what you're saying? Are you wanting not to see Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger, or do you just think it's not the right time? Like, what is your thought process behind that?
I just think they might do that.
Here's what I think. I think that if they start to build this up and you have the anti-Mexican promo and you have Zeb Coulter going out, and if the WWE sees a response like, you know what, maybe this isn't the best way to go, I could see them having Dolph Ziggler come out and cash in on Alberto Del Rio. I could see that happening. We have 6 weeks until WrestleMania, so anything can happen between now and then. With a briefcase, who knows? Maybe Big Show's pissed about the pay-per-view, and he goes out and knocks Del Rio, and maybe he cashes in tonight. Wouldn't that be fun? But
Yeah.
I would like to see Swagger versus Del Rio. As much as I love Del Rio's new character, I'm not as big fan of his in-ring work. His botch last night was priceless, and I'm guessing you didn't see this either, Blackjack, unless you saw it online.
No.
You've got to search this up.
Oh, no, wait. Yeah, the one where Big Show has like
a bucket. Yeah.
Yes.
So he picks up a bucket and is holding it by his head. So obvious. We're like, oh my God, okay, he's going to enziguri his head. Here we go.
It's so great.
And he failed. He fell right on his ass. He gets up. He does it again. Doesn't even connect. So he has to do it like 2 more times, then cross arm bars him. And I thought to myself, do I really want this guy as champion? I mean, I like him, but that was a huge botch. And apparently everybody at the pay-per-view was laughing. Here's my honest opinion. Blatcher, do you have any opinions on this? Do you want to see Mexican versus American feud, or do you want to see him go elsewhere?
I really wish there was just like a different angle to it. I mean, like Mexican American, you could have done that like 6 years ago and it would have sold better.
Yeah, but the problem is now it's Jack Swagger is not being like the American, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like, oh, America. Mm-hmm. He's the anti-American. Like he's the Jack Swagger. He's like the Tea Party of the WWE.
He's like so he's basically like he's the anti Hulk Hogan. Like Hulk Hogan was a proud like American,
exactly,
and he like defeated the commies. Like that was it.
Yeah,
this guy is like the racist kind of like, ooh, keep those Mexicans from away
from our friends, exactly. That's exactly. Zeb Coulter, said they're border jumping and I think it puts a new spin on it.
It does. It takes the other angle at it.
It does, and it's not as predictable. I don't want to see a change, caller. Whoever was the one that had just called in about that. I don't want to. Well, you're still on the line. I don't want to see a change. Is it something you say you think it's going to happen? Do you want it to happen, or could you get along with it if it doesn't?
I mean, I wish Jericho would have won the Chamber out of everybody.
I see. I didn't want Jericho. The only way I wanted Jericho to win was if they didn't let Dolph cash in still, and then it was Dolph versus Alberto Del Rio at the pay-per-view. Not Dolph. It was Alberto Del Rio versus Chris Jericho at the pay-per-view, and Chris Jericho wins. He's holding the title, and then out comes Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler takes away his WrestleMania moment. That's the only way I wanted Chris Jericho to win last night. But Chris Jericho is not a guy that needs the Elimination Chamber to go to WrestleMania. Jack Swagger is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You have a YouTube or Twitter you want to shout out?
No.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your call.
I kind of agree with that because I feel like Chris Jericho's name alone gets him in WrestleMania.
Well, the last year or two.
Yeah.
He just got in. He faced CM Punk last year for the title and went on to face him for a few more months. This year's a little different. I know he's leaving after this week to for a tour with Fozzy in Australia, and then he has nothing planned until after WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. The two matches so far on the sheet officially, I guess, on the Wikipedia, because anything you read on Wikipedia is the truth.
Of course.
Is Rock versus Cena in a singles match and Del Rio versus Jack Swagger in a singles match.
Correct.
And it is taking place in MetLife Stadium. God, New Jersey.
Hey.
Don't New Jersey. Jeez.
Jay,
What?
dirty Jersey.
Oh my God, are we gonna get the Jersey Shore down there?
No, they're done. We're tired of them.
Oh, now MTV's on to Buck Wild, and I hate to say this, but I kind of like Buck Wild. I don't know what it is about that show. I'm kind of a fan of it. If you wanted to give us a call, 619-618-0268. We're talking about Blackjack. Make sure to check out his YouTube channel, youtube.com/It's Blackjack's Media. Okay, it's always the S. I forget to type in the S. Yeah, you're almost at 2,300. You're halfway.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, and I did the bad thing and went with a name that's unbelievably difficult to follow. Like if you want to say it, because you always got to say that S at the end.
Oh my!
I should have just went with Blackjack Sports, and it would have been easy. But
technically, you could still change it. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know I can.
But you have to do the Google account, and that's pretty annoying. If you want to talk about it, 619-618-0268. Let's talk about what do we got going on here.
I thought that my big thing about the flub that what's his name, Alberto had.
Yeah.
My big beef with that is that he did it again. if he went with anything else, if it was like, all right, I just missed the Enziguri,
so I'm gonna punch him.
Just try something else.
Like punching him or
punching him. Maybe steal the bucket from him and just clock him upside the head.
No, he would have got DQ'd with that.
That's true. Yeah, he would have gotten DQ'd.
But I mean. If you're a fan and you're like, oh, so Big Show's just supposed to sit there and pretend like he didn't just hear him fall, that was just as bad as it was Randy Orton versus Del Rio, and I'm guessing you didn't see this, but I don't know what pay-per-view is at. It was Del Rio versus Randy Orton, and Del Rio goes up top, and Randy's like waiting to catch him for a move, and Del Rio just kind of jumps down on the apron, and Randy goes to grab him like, what the fuck, what? Okay, and he throws him into the ropes. It was just hilarious. He was like that big of a fuck up, like they didn't know what to do. And you're just sitting there as a fan like, seriously? But I like those botch spots. So I thought it was hilarious last night. We were laughing our ass off.
It's hilarious. I mean, now it's a YouTube highlight.
Absolutely. Too bad that we're not allowed to upload this YouTube highlights. Let's see. Oh, my God. We're missing so many calls. I got 20 missed calls right now.
Get in there.
What is up? Who is this? All right, make sure to mute the live stream when you guys call in. What is up? Who is this? All right, thanks for calling. What is up? Who is this? All right, thanks for your call. What is up? Who is this? Wait, why am I answering it? We got Mr. Radio Personality in this bitch.
Hello.
Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna answer the call, and you're gonna Radio Personality because you know you're the talk line in what's the radio station in Wyoming? I listen for that part.
The Boys Show.
Yeah, usually I listen to the first 10 minutes of that just because it's like a radio station.
Yeah. And
I listen to that, and then I sporadically usually watch the games and usually fast forward a little bit because you always make some pretty creative finishes, and I don't want to break the fourth wall here, but I almost think it's kind of like a storytelling in WWE.
It in a way, yes, except for the fact that it's almost not. It's kind of
really you're okay. I'm not even gonna break into that, but he does a really good job. Everybody always complains about my quality. If you guys want quality, this is the guy to go. Here we go. Let's let out Mr. Blackjack, the future radio announcer. Here we go.
All right, Colin, you're on the air. What's up? Yeah, what's up? All right, thanks for calling. Next caller.
Apparently, people don't want to talk.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, wow.
Say it with your chest, boy.
We're getting a string of bad calls. What's up?
Hello.
All right.
Oh,
Hey.
a little too early on that one. Sorry about
Damn.
that 380. Call back. What is up? Who is this?
What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about? WrestleMania. Hey, what's up, man?
Let's see. Let's talk about Jack Swagger.
All right, what do you want to talk about? What about Jack Swagger you want to talk about?
I think it's good that he won because it makes him feel like it gives him a bigger push now that he's back.
I would agree with
Proving
that. I would agree. I think he deserves a big push. I think his new character is good, and I think he deserves a push. So Del Rio versus Swagger at WrestleMania. What's your prediction?
Probably Alberto will defend, and then Jack Swagger will want a rematch, but then that's where either Mark Henry will come in and probably say, no, you got your chance, you lost, just because you won the Elimination Chamber. And then probably it's going to be a triple threat at probably Extreme Rules.
Okay, all right. That's a pretty good prediction. YouTube or Twitter you want to shout out?
No, I'm good.
All right, thanks for the call.
Yeah,
Jeez.
The
stream crashed out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck happened. It literally just went from 325 people that we had down to 100.
100. Yeah.
I
got a question.
Yeah.
Because the way that it's sounding to me, it sounds like Del Rio. Del Rio is the guy who should win because of what his story is, and I feel like if he doesn't win, the storyline feels a little wrong. If he wins, if Del Rio loses at WrestleMania, how do the fans feel in general? Like, if Del Rio wins this, are they, is it better that Swagger wins or is it better that Del Rio wins? Because from the storyline, it sounds like even though like Jack Swagger, the racist, has to kind of go down, and that Del Rio has to win in order to kind of to help continue the popularization of Mexican Americans or just Latinos in general. In wrestling, and that Jack Swagger is the figure that he has to defeat in WrestleMania, and if he doesn't, that then Jack Swagger winning kind of really hurts that storyline.
Well, that's what it's kind of hard to define the character right now of Jack Swagger, because we don't know how racist they're gonna get. Because right now, I think they're on the level of Fox News. I don't know how much worse you can get than Fox News, but they are full in Tea Party, Sarah Palin, like that's where they're at, the border jumping. And if you just search Zeb Coulter, you can watch this. And seriously, I don't know what the hell's going on at the stream right now. It's annoying me like when Nodis's fan streams tank.
Right.
I think it'll be. You bring up a good point though. Is it wrong? I think. 2 years ago, when Del Rio was the Royal Rumble winner and Del Rio was the bad guy, they let the good guy win at Mania, and that wasn't him; it was Edge. And then Edge announced his retirement, so maybe it's time for Alberto Del Rio to get that WrestleMania moment, because Del Rio turned face a few months ago when Big Show started terrorizing him, and he became the good guy and talking about everything. And I don't know. I guess a lot of the WWE fans are probably, I hate to say this, but along the lines of the thinking of Jack Swagger and that racist kind of America.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I got to see the video though to really see, because the second that I see the character and see how far they've pushed now, I think I'll have an idea of.
He pushes far. Zeb Coulter pushes far. Talking WrestleMania 29. Let me just tweet this out here because I'm not sure what's going on.
Sure.
Still come join. Let's get somebody's opinion. He brings up a good point here. Give us a call, 619-618-0268. What is up? Who is this?
Oh, this is Mike.
All right, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Blackjack has got a question for you.
I want to know, what do you think? Because it seems like Del Rio should be the guy who wins based on the storyline. But would you be upset if Jack Swagger won because of what the storyline between Del Rio and Swagger is right now?
Because the storyline between Del Rio and Swagger.
Because he's kind of like that racist
I like
American.
his new look. I'm really pushing for Swagger.
Okay.
After that Del Rio's botch last night, I'm not for Swagger anymore. I'm not for Del Rio anymore.
So
just
so
because
you
of
don't
the
even
botch.
Huh?
Just because of the botch.
That botch was so horrible.
I agree.
That
it
I
was
just
pretty
lost. Like, come on, and then he failed again.
I agree with that. He completely botched that last night. It was horrible.
I totally agree with that, but I have one more question. So when you when you root for a guy going into WrestleMania, do you root for them because of what their storyline is or how good they are as a wrestler? Because I feel like that's kind of what this comes down to. And I feel like, do you root for Swagger because he's a better wrestler than Del Rio?
No, well, sort of, yeah. Because as I talk about the botch, and then Del Rio, not being that good of a wrestler because I don't know, some of the Mexican wrestlers and botching.
Well, okay, you're just thinking about Sin Cara. Sin Cara botches everything. Let's be honest. It's Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Del Rio, Del Rio's botched as well, but I don't know. In my opinion, I think it'll all come down to
Swagger
what
had a good
happened.
match last night, though.
You what?
Swagger had a good match last night.
He did have a good match. So you want Swagger to win? Now,
At WrestleMania?
yeah. Will it get to a point though that if he becomes super a racist American, is that going to turn you off, or do you not even care? You just want Swagger to win?
I'm actually pretty surprised that WWE is making like a heel American wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised. I like the surprising thing, and so I'm going with Swagger.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your call, sir.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Tubby. Wait.
You go for it.
Can I shout out something?
Yep.
Sure.
The Wrestling Nation on Facebook.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Let's see.
It's 2 wins today for the Wrestling Nation.
Yeah. What is up? Who is this?
Hello. All right. Nice knowing you.
Apparently they hung out before. It was me calling them back. What is up? Who is this?
Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, hey man, I wanted to answer this question. Out of the Shield, who do you think will be a rising star? Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, or Roman Reigns?
Dean Ambrose. Although I think Seth Rollins has potential. There's something about when he's talking that makes me think that WWE would go with Seth Rollins versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. They're kind of similar, although Dean Ambrose is my favorite. Although Roman Reigns is growing on me, to be honest with you. I didn't like him at first, but that's
but don't you think Roman Reigns also kind of lacks mic skills?
Okay, here's where I would say yes, and I don't like him. But if you watched his last NXT promo, when he was, it's been a while now, that the tax bill, and he's like on the phone, and I don't know what his gimmick was at the time, but it was probably one of his better promos that I've ever seen. Not of everybody, but from the WWE promos that he's done, yes, he's kind of bad on the microphone, and in that aspect, Dean and Seth absolutely dominate him. But he's that powerhouse that WWE likes. And the spear that he put on Ryback, it makes me think if they're going to go for a guy that does a big spear and has the potential to finish matches like that, that Roman is probably going to get pushed the most, sadly, even though Dean and Seth have the most to gain. But with them winning last night, I see him going on for a while, so I think they'll still stay together.
Yeah, but what Seth Rollins, to me, kind of lacks the mic skills because he looks like every time he talks, he has a lisp, and it's kind of annoying in a way. But he reminds me of another Jeff Hardy. Do you think he will have a Jeff Hardy type career minus the drugs?
You mean being downgraded to TNA and having the title there?
No, I mean no. I mean in WWE. Do you think he'll have a Jeff Hardy type run?
Oh, okay. I don't know. It all depends what happens with the bigger guys in the WWE now and what happens to them, and if WWE has to start relying on these guys they're bringing up from NXT. I think we have to decide how long it's going to go, because for all we know, maybe Randy Orton, Cena, CM Punk, they all stay around long enough where we don't get to see Seth Rollins shine, up as a main eventer like Jeff Hardy was with the, on the World Heavyweight title and, being in that position on SmackDown, leading the show. I don't necessarily think just yet. I think maybe eventually Seth could do that, although some of his matches in NXT are very entertaining, but there are quite a few botches in them, to be honest with you. You see them, and they're kind of low-energy matches. I don't necessarily see him having that career. I think Dean has the best possibility, I guess.
Yeah, but would you be highly disappointed if WWE does not push Dean Ambrose and he's just like, let's say, another epic flop?
Yeah, I would be pissed because they're bringing up these guys and they're kind of tanking everybody, and I like the fact that Big E and NXT dominated and I'm guessing Blackjack, you didn't see this either. Big E, and I don't know, have you seen pictures of Big E?
I have not. I need to.
Okay, he's a little 5 foot. Have you ever seen The Ringer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the black guy that's slow.
Stop.
He looks. Come on. Let's be honest. He's like Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on a mushroom, like on mushrooms. So if you've seen that picture, let me try to bring this up here. I got to find this picture here.
Is there a specific one that I need to see?
Yes. I'll send you the link. Hold on. It was a picture literally of Carlton. Copy image URL here. Okay, let me. I'll put it up on screen here. It's Carlton. All right, it's on the screen right now. It's Carlton plus a mushroom from Mario equals Big E Langston.
Oh my God! Yes.
That's what Big E is right there.
Really?
That's Big E Langston.
I see it. I totally see it.
And so
my God.
Big E's
Definitely.
Big E. They're pushing him kind of slow. So I think the WWE right now, the way that they're pushing people is the best they've ever pushed people. You have the Shield coming up slow. They've been around. They're still winning. Big E's been around for 3 months now and hasn't had a match, and they've slowly brought us the idea that he could, potentially become a threat. And I think they're doing a great job building him. So I don't necessarily see Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, WWE failing to push him just yet because I think the WWE is doing the right thing.
Yeah, but in a future, maybe potential with Ambrose, do you think when Ambrose is rising as a star, which feud do you want to see most, like him against Randy Orton or any guys in the company that you would like to see him feud against?
Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryant.
Yeah, I thought of that too, but that was also another one. But what do you think about this coming up WrestleMania? Do you think in WrestleMania 29, you think it's just like it's going to be, to me, I thought WrestleMania 27 was kind of like another throwaway show. But, like, do you think WrestleMania 29 is probably going to be, like, pretty epic, or just going to be, like, just another boring, like, regular, show?
I liked last year's show. Last year's show is really good. I think this has got a potential to be a good year. I really do. I think the WWE is trying to make light of what they have, and they're doing it. They're pushing Swagger. They're pushing the Shield. I think right now, unofficially, we have about 6 matches set. That doesn't include Brock and Triple H, in my opinion. That doesn't include CM Punk, Undertaker yet, or what the Shield's doing. So it's looking like a pretty good card, and I'm pretty excited. I'm going to buy it. And I think a lot of the people that are complaining now, first of all, are the people that don't even buy the pay-per-views. Like, every person that I've seen that have complained and that have bitched about Rock and Cena, and they've all been people that watch a free stream. So, oh my God, you're going to stop watching WWE? Oh no, please don't. I think that's WWE's opinion. Like, oh no, you're not going to watch it on the free stream anymore. Damn. Oh, hey, guy that hasn't bought a pay-per-view in 2 years, now that Rock's back, he's going to buy it. I think they're going to go that way, and I think that it'll be a pretty epic show. I don't think it'll be the greatest WrestleMania, but it's got potential to be a good one.
Yeah, but since Bruno Sammartino got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and I'm quite happy with that too. Do you think the Macho Man should get inducted to this year's Hall of Fame, since he has not been inducted, and it's kind of slapped in the face to other fans because he hasn't been inducted?
It's not a slap in the face at all. If Bruno took that long, people need to realize this about the Hall of Fame. Black, which is the one that this year, was it football or baseball? Who's the one that decided not to induct anybody this year?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was terrible.
why? What? How many years does somebody have to be dead or somebody have to be gone to get inducted to the Hall of Fame?
If it's, I believe in baseball, and I believe this is true in football too, you have to be 5 years removed, I want to say. And then you have to win 80, and then specifically in baseball, you have to win 80% of the vote. So you can have a year in which you have a lineup that they had this year where it was like McGuire, Sosa, Bagwell, and a whole bunch of other guys. It may be even longer than that. It might be longer than I don't know how long you have to be out. But if you have a huge lineup of guys who are trying to get in the Hall of Fame in the same year in the same class, they can all essentially just cock block themselves out of the Hall of Fame because the voters, try to vote for one guy or they vote for another guy, and somebody doesn't get 80% of the vote.
But do they get to throw their name into the hat, into the ring? Or is it just the voting committee? Because like WWE just kind of picks them, and a lot of people are mad that guys like Macho or Chris Benoit will probably never get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. They're mad that I think to say it's a slap in the face is a crock of shit, to be honest with you, because there's nothing that says okay, he died. How many years ago was it? Don't quote me on this.
Randy Savage. It's been a while.
Yeah,
2009 probably.
2000, somewhere in there.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Is it fair to say? Well, because it's been 3 years and he hasn't gotten inducted to the Hall of Fame, it's bullshit. No, it just hasn't been the time, and I think that's where some people get crazy and they're like, why hasn't Macho Man been inducted, but Drew Carey was inducted? What the fuck? Mm-hmm. There's a celebrity Hall of Fame.
Right.
And the WWE deserves to have a celebrity Hall of Fame because look at the notoriety they brought. And, back in the day when superstars and celebrities came around, that was a huge deal. And that got wrestling a lot of promotion. So when you say it's a slap in the face, is it a slap in the face because other guys have gone in that shouldn't have, or the fact that Macho just hasn't been inducted yet?
One more thing. Who are your top 5 worst wrestlers and you just despise seeing them?
There's a lot of... Macho Man only died in 2011.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I forgot. It was that whole... He stopped Jesus from the rapture and all that. I forgot about that. That was 2 years ago.
It was only 2 years ago. Wow, that was my bad.
Your top 5 worst wrestlers.
Right now,
Kali times 5. That's my list. Kali times 5. You have a YouTube channel or Twitter you want to shout out?
Yeah, sure. But if I have to ask this, do you think anyone in NXT right now, has an up and coming potential to, rise up and be a star one day? Like maybe like a Bo Dallas. You ever see him, probably getting
no.
If they build him up correctly, probably get a push one day?
No. I like Bo Dallas, but I don't think he's their best talent. Who is it? I have to look at the roster quick to see this. Big E just looks like a... I like Cassius Ohno. I really like Chris Hero.
Yeah,
but
I'm also a Cassius Ohno fan.
I don't think he'll ever get the push. I'm looking over the list now who's in NXT. I know Corey Graves has been getting some action at events lately. Conor O'Brien. The Ascension would have been up there had it not been for his partner getting released. I don't know. Some people have been talking about Aiden English. As far as the roster right now, I want to see Cassius Ohno go up there. He's been in wrestling so long. He's pretty much like training. I think he's the guy I want to see up next. Full superstar potential? Probably not.
Yeah. But if, one more thing. If I had to ask, what was it? Who do you think Undertaker should face this year? You think maybe Taker and Punk? You think Undertaker, since he's getting old now, and do you think this could be the last WrestleMania 29, or he could actually finally retire from, or when he faces Punk?
Great question. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank you. We got some person that's calling you right now. I will answer your call here on the stream. Do I want Punk to be Undertaker's last spot? The way Undertaker's looking right now in that picture that we showed, I don't think he's going to compete this year, in my personal opinion. Right. You're going to be slapping on some hair color, and I don't know. Were you watching last year when Undertaker came out with fake hair?
I actually saw pictures of that.
He
yes.
had the worst fake looking hair, and eventually just shaved it off and wrestled bald at WrestleMania. This year, they can slap on the coloring on him, but from what I'm seeing in just that picture, not in his body or how he's feeling, I don't think he's gonna go. And I don't necessarily want. Oh, I know why the fucking stream died. I had the time set to 5:30, so it stopped showing it on the link when you. Whoops, that's a problem.
Derp.
Yep, it was set to 5:30. My bad, guys. That's why the stream was fucking up. It wasn't that people were leaving. It's because it showed as ended for some people. There, I set it out to 6:15. I don't think that'll improve anything. I forgot where I was. I don't know.
You were talking about Taker.
Yeah, as far as Taker,
I want to go. If you have anything else to say on Taker,
go ahead.
I want to talk a little bit about Jeff Hardy. What is up with the face paint thing?
Oh, he's done that forever.
No, he didn't. He didn't do that back in the day.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Wow.
Like I remember Team Extreme when it was him, Matt Hardy, and Lita. Like he did the eyeliner stuff. I remember that. But like, when did he just go on like full face paint? When did that happen?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I know he's been doing it for a long time.
Wow.
Because WrestleMania 25, he was in full face paint, which that was 5 years ago. Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. So he's been doing it for a while. I guess I never really liked. I like Jeff Hardy as a tag team. I didn't really like him as a singles competitor.
Correct. Same here. Like the second Matt Hardy went single too, I was tired of him. I was just like, okay, he needs to go away now. Like I remember he had that feud. Oh, this was one of the worst feuds ever in my mind. He had a feud with Kane, and Kane took Lita from him, and then Lita had to marry Kane, and then Lita got pregnant, and then on stage, because like she took like a fake knee or whatever, she lost the baby, and I was just like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
Oh, these things are getting crazy, guys. We'll take one last call here, as it's been kind of an up and down day, crazy shit. Let's see who we got here. What is up? Who is this?
My name is John Laurinaitis.
What's up, John?
I am the
what's that?
executive vice president
what's that?
of the Wrestling Nation.
What's that? You got Future Endeavored? Oh, that's right. You got Future Endeavored. Oh shit! Jesus Christ! I'm guessing you don't know who John Laurinaitis is. What is up? Who is this? Oh, oops. John Laurinaitis was the executive vice president of talent relations.
Okay.
He was on TV and was a general manager last year and was featured in the CM Punk promo from 2 years ago.
That's why I was like, he put on a voice for a reason.
What is up? Who is this?
Justin.
Why does it just sound familiar? Is that just me? Anyway, all right, Justin, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Just came to talk about WrestleMania.
All right, talk about WrestleMania. What do you got?
I was kind of thinking to twist of John Cena versus Rock, they would turn one of them heel. Now I know it's a long shot, but it's something I've been predicting.
Something you've been predicting. Who do you see going heel on that occasion then?
I think because of what you said, Tubby, last time at the pay-per-view, how the Shield versus John Cena and Sheamus and Ryback.
Yep.
How John Cena really didn't break up the pin.
Yep.
I was thinking it would be John Cena. Now, I know that's a really long shot, but that's who I think.
Okay, this is something that I also thank you so much for bringing this point up here, and I'll talk about this after. I don't necessarily know if I want to see one of them go heel. I don't think neither one of them need to go heel. I think if John Cena stays around and does win the champion from Rock, he can be the face still, because I still don't think they're going to turn him heel, because we all keep talking that, WWE is going to turn PG, TV 14, and you saw at the promo today that they had a press release for WrestleMania 30, and they in the PowerPoint, the opening presentation to them, showing like what the impact of WrestleMania has. They had TV PG on the screen 3 times. They kept saying, we have 2 million weekly viewers that are under 18. There's as many kids watching as there are. They're never going to turn Cena heel. I hate to say that. They may make him a tweener, but I think Rock potentially has the guy to become the bad guy now, because he's going to, if he wins and leaves, that would be awesome. Like
what I was thinking is since Cena went kind of crazy last year about how he lost, he would take the easy way out and be a heel. or something like that.
That could
That's what I
happen.
thought. Like the Shield would help him win. And he would just join,
I
like,
kind
Hogan,
of was
and there
hoping
we
the
go.
Shield would John Cena would pair with the Shield, and I want to bring that up too before I finish. But who do you see winning? John Cena versus The Rock. Who picks it up in your opinion? As John Cena won on screen, he made The Rock tap out. What is your opinion?
I really don't want Cena to win, but I know he's going to win.
Okay, Cena's.
I've been hearing, it's a business decision and all that, and it's legit,
It is what it is, and unfortunately, everybody that I see complaining is literally. Did you legitimately in any way, shape, or form buy Elimination Chamber?
No, I did not.
Or were you one of the people that were complaining about it?
No, not really. I kind of figured.
Yeah.
It is business in some way, and the WWE Championship really does bring it up.
I see a lot of the guys that are complaining are the ones that never buy it legitimately, or never the ones that actually support, the product. They're the ones that usually complain. And yeah. I understand as a fan, like not getting the match you want, and it's frustrating. But let's be honest, anybody who thinks they're not going to do Rock Cena 2 is kind of crazy. I mean,
also, because I heard about the CM Punk thing, if they really can't do Taker, I was hoping if maybe, I know this is another long shot, Stone Cold.
No, they're not going to work Stone Cold in 6 weeks.
No, yeah.
No, maybe WrestleMania 30, not in 6 weeks. The fact that, oh my God, if Stone Cold's music hit tonight, the shit would go crazy and it would be done. I'd be done.
Yeah,
like what? Like way to fuck with this WWE. Hats off to you. You're the secret keepers of the century. I don't see Stone Cold. I see if Undertaker can't go, I don't want to see him in a triple threat match. Absolutely none. Maybe Brock Lesnar. I would actually like to see CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar and keep Triple H out of the pay-per-view. And then I've been waiting for this for 3 years now for Wade Barrett versus The Undertaker. I think that if Wade Barrett...
They just dropped the story completely.
Because what happened, and I'm sure Blackjack, you won't remember this either, when the Nexus was around back in 2010...
I kind of remember that.
Okay, Undertaker versus Kane in a buried alive match. I was there. It was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it was at the Bragging Rights pay-per-view, and Nexus came out and cost Undertaker the match and buried him. And I was waiting, like, wait, come on, Undertaker, come back, be pissed about Wade Barrett, want to take him down. And what's interesting, and most people kind of brush it off, like, oh, Undertaker doesn't need to be a Grand Slam champion. If Undertaker wins the Intercontinental Championship, he becomes a Grand Slam champion. Yeah. Just like Big Show last year when they gave Big Show the Intercontinental Championship. And I think Wade Barrett versus Undertaker would be a good match because Wade isn't as physical as, say, a guy like Brock Lesnar. And I think it would be better for him. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Wade versus Undertaker. I want to see CM Punk versus Brock. That's me. You have a YouTube or Twitter you want to shout out?
Yeah, YouTube channel, Hustling Big.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your call. Let's bring this up really quick before we end this. What he talked about, what he brought up was he said, God, why did I just seriously space out about it? God damn it.
Where he was talking about Stone Cold, or?
No, it was before Stone Cold. God, it was about Cena. Son of a bitch. Cena. Okay, so at the pay-per-view last night in the in the 6-man tag. Yes. John Cena just hit an attitude adjustment on Dean Ambrose, and Ryback had picked up Seth Rollins to go for a shell shock. And in comes Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns speared Ryback, so Seth Rollins fell off his shoulders, landed on top of him, and the referee was going to go for the pin. Okay. And after Roman speared him, he kind of rolled out of the way, and Ambrose was out of the way, and Cena was just standing up because he just finished the maneuver. And instead of going to break up the pin, he kind of meandered over there and went to hit Roman. Like, he kind of got down and he hit him, and some people were saying, Tubby, he was holding him down or somebody was on top of him. No, he wasn't. He went down and he hit Roman. Obviously, it was to make, John Cena still look strong because he didn't get beat, because he's going to WrestleMania, the main event, which made sense. But at the same time, you're like, is Ryback left pissed. He left like, what the fuck, Cena? Like, seriously? And he didn't say anything to him, but he just kind of left. Cena had the opportunity last night to break up that pin. Obviously,
and he lied down?
He didn't lie down. I think, the WWE did a good job on scripting the finish. Okay. Unfortunately, they just made it a little not close enough, where he just gets up at 3. He was already up at the 1 count. and like kind of got down on a knee and went to hit him and like stood up like, oh shit, whoa, the match is over. Like that's what happened.
Yeah, I hate matches like that where and not a legit match. Like
That's what it felt
I
like.
mean, like you said, it's not like he lied down, but
Yeah,
you feel kind of cheated.
it got really black behind me all of a sudden because the lights kind of went out. So
That's just me. I'm sorry.
make sure to no that what.
I said no. I'm black, so I said that's me.
Oh, jeez. At first, when I was looking at the picture, I'm like, no, he's not. Like it's the complete opposite. Like when you think Smalls, you think he's black, and then I hear you, I'm like, no, that's a white guy. And then I see it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, make sure to. I really do appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure to subscribe to this guy. Awesome content. Literally, pretty much one of the only sports guys I watch, at least for the 10 minutes he does a radio show, because he absolutely kills it. What's the do the radio personality? I want to hear it.
All right. 101.2 KWYO, The Boys Show. Good morning, Wyoming faithful. I'm Jack Sable here, and we're going to talk a little bit about some WrestleMania action here. WrestleMania 30 set to take off in New Orleans. I have Tubby Emo here. We're going to do a little bit of talk about it. Come on, Tubby. What do you want to say to the people about it?
Jack Sable. Is that please tell me that's not a personality. Is that somebody you made? Is that like your name? Like if you
it's Sable is black. So it's literally Black Jack backwards.
Oh, you creative son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You're good at that. Now I know you were trying to break into radio, or you talked about it.
Yeah.
And I heard. Do you listen to the Dave Ryan in the Morning Show at all?
I've heard a few Dave Ryan in the Morning shows. A few of them.
Okay, so and the only reason I say this is because I've started listening. I live in Minneapolis, where it's based out of. Obviously, it's syndicated on iHeart and everything.
Right.
And he openly brought up his contract on the air.
Wow.
And it kind of blew me. He's like, Clear Channel hasn't made any indication to me as that they're going to, renew my contract, and the show coming May may be over. And I think it may have been a work because he was talking about the newspapers and selling them. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, Fallon was like, the money, how many newspapers you have to sell? It's like, what, a cushy $38,000 a year job. I'm like, whoa, most DJs make $20,000, if that, to like $30,000. Like, that's not a lot of money.
I did it for free for 3 years because I was a college radio guy.
And you endorse products you don't like.
Correct.
Like, it's so annoying and that's why I don't want to be radio. And everybody says, Tubby, going to radio. Radio, I could be on the show one day, be like, all right, and weight loss. Hey, guys, make sure to check out Weight Loss Supplement 33. Lost 10 pounds in the last couple weeks. Great product. And then the very next ad, oh, my God, I'm on this raspberry ketone. Down 12 pounds in 2 months. Like, I hear that from Dave Ryan, and you see how many different ads they're in and how many products they're promoting, and it's like, you're full of shit. Like, my mom's like, no, when they talk about it on the radio, they actually have to have a sleep number. I'm like, no.
You could tell when somebody's faking it.
They're faking it. And I'm like, Mom, your dad, before he passed away, was, a radio guy for 20 years. You know the deal. And she's like, no. So, it is what it is. It's Blackjack Media. It's Blackjack's Media, guys.
It's important.
Make sure to go subscribe to him. I want to thank you very much for joining us. And I also want to thank our sponsor, the Booker T ROW. It's a great reality of wrestling show. YouTube.com/The Booker T ROW. Check out the promo. Go subscribe to him. They have a live taping coming up on in March 9th, 2013. Go watch it. Here it is, The Booker T ROW.
Professional wrestling at its best. Reality of Wrestling. For more information, go to realityofwrestling.com.
Yeah. Stuff that's coming up on my channel. If you love college football, I've got plenty of that. Wyoming Dynasty, that's what I do. You can hear my radio voice, nice and clear and beautiful for you to listen to. So silky smooth. And I also do a very, very creative two-tail story. I actually just finished the state championship game in there. It's a 25-minute epic. If you like wrestling and you like storylines, this is a great storyline to follow. There's 12 episodes up. Go check out that. I'm about to put up their college years and start that. It's really great. I have some great voice actors that I have working with me. You should check them out as well. But go to my channel if you want to see all that. I also do a few Let's Plays. I do, just to kind of relax. I do some Saints Row and some Sleeping Dogs. It's a mixed bag, but I do mostly sports stuff there. So if you love basketball, you love football, that's the place to go.